Right, what's happening? I just wanted to come back and put in some of that good work the way I should. You know what I mean? It's your man, it's your fam, King A.D.S here, Ayaya the Shadow, out here in the Inland Empire, in Cali on the West Coast. Much dubs, much love to everybody out there doing their thing. Please, like I always say, make sure that you subscribe, like the video, share, come along for the journey musically with me as well as these vlogs that I've been doing for a little while now, and just trying to get at you with that good love. Check out all my featured channels, subscribe to those, come on the music mission, adventure with me. So much more to come. Got the Theta Mob project, Legacy Family Immortal Eternal Volume 1, got all the King A.D.S albums, all that's of the Almighty Grind, Bars, Sweat, and Years mix. And I'll just keep on plugging away because that's what I got to do. And if you need any help on another note, on the practical business side, hit me up. Best junk removal in the Inland Empire. You know what I mean? Still on this mission of becoming a generator of, good energy and good things, and just trying to build that from the ground up, from the inward out, and do things better each and every time, and that's what it's all about these days. And just wanted to touch on, sometimes, all of us may think like how life isn't fair. We're not all in the best standards and situations. I feel like that's most of us. And it's to not to get wrapped up in just the experience that you're going through right off the surface, but the things that you take away from them, and noticing the advantage that you may be able to flip in that possibility. So you always keep that ability to adapt, and change direction. Like how you see someone in football catch the ball and pivot and do like a 270 turn back the other way to avoid the defender and keep going and get to the goal, which is what we're all out here doing. And I see how many different levels of it there are, like with all the stuff going on still with Kanye, with the media, everything, people pulling out with support and really going to town, blowing things up. And man, what a situation to be placed in. You know what I mean? What a situation to be placed in. All eyes are on you, and you've got everybody gunning for you too. So, but who knows what the reason may be, and what maybe some perceive as a loss also could have as advantages of bringing light on a particular topic or another that maybe needs to be addressed anyway. Like, how do people overcome these challenges that a lot of us, or all of us, are faced with in a different way? And I hope that people begin to see that too, that there's no one that's really, pass and go without approval. You need that stamp. And so, how do we all get a stamp and a fair shake, across the board, man? I feel like it's everybody's right to do so. I think that if you're brilliant, you're brilliant. And if you can get something done, I think it's awesome and amazing. And I don't feel it should just be manipulated and used for someone's particular benefit for another motive or anything like that. I think that the way that the creator of those inventions or whatever it is, concepts and theories, things should kind of be explored in that vein until a new one, or something that's equal or even better is reached. But I don't think it should be manipulated without the say so of those individuals. And I think that that's the thing in common that every culture in America has, is that every single culture has been exploited and manipulated into one particular direction or another, without anyone say so. So all of us are kind of given roles, and that's a little bit of it too, is touching on it, which I've expressed it before. Don't let people put words in your mouth, right? Like, none of us should let anyone dictate the way that we're going to respond to something, or to speak up. And we should never be able to be called out as groups. It should be harder than that. It should be that individuals' views particularly are shared because of all of the substance that's been explored And that's how everyone came to their conclusions, which in that way across the board, I think that most people would feel the same about most things once they're educated and understand how many different angles could be taken to accomplish things and how magic tricks basically work. So we could shatter that. And so, how do we do that and get a fair shake? That's the challenge right there. So we can all be free in a free nation, in a free land, and doing things for the right reasons, and not because it benefits some sort of seems to be like a script that's perhaps, maybe, I don't know, like laid out 100 years, perhaps 200 years, perhaps ahead of time. I don't know. I'm not there firsthand, but there's things that I've seen, read, or history, so on and so forth, that does seem to point to things and paint interesting pictures about the situation. So I encourage people to do their own digging and research and stuff. And I know there's a ton of you out there who are really brilliant and smart. And I'm sure, if you got things to add, that'd be awesome, man. I welcome it. Something positive and constructive, just to drop more points to the view, because that's what it's all about. But yeah, man, so what in this scenario right here, when you're on the hot plate, everybody's looking at you and it seems negative, but like I said, like maybe you're placed there to shed light on a particular topic, and maybe the harsh language was needed to make everybody stop and to cause all these other extras on top of it to really make it addressed, like as a concern, like, hey, perhaps maybe could that happen to anyone, be yanked, and when has that happened to anyone else? So that's a concern right there too. Like, so no matter how far you go, you could just be yanked. By what standard? By what standard? You know, the race issue stuff. I really, I don't know. I'm not comfortable really talking about it, but at the same time, I really think it's getting a little bit, maybe it sidetracks some of the goals. Maybe it sidetracks some of the goals, and it's gonna be cued in upon like that's a tool, maybe that it's being used to deflect and deter the outcome or the point of the conversation, and maybe so that could be like left out a little bit more and more focused on I suppose at that point names would be safer than mentioning a group at that point. I just noticed that, like, instead of throwing in a group, maybe throwing individual names. And that's something that you usually see big time corporation representatives and politicians do. And that's why I said before, like, it's really not a musician's game for the most. But maybe at that point, if it reaches that level, maybe it is safer to call out an individual's name, even though that's also been a weird place to go to, even though sometimes some things need to be addressed. But if they can't be addressed by what's called a proper channel, then what do you do, right? So how do we deal with this stuff? This is where we're hitting a wall in the matrix. It feels like you're evolving beyond the programming, right? Parameters, and they're trying to pull you back in, like, you slave can't break free. Like, you know what I'm saying? Is what it feels like. So it's just really weird. But no matter what, there's gotta be a good in whatever scenario that's taking place, even though it may seem negative at the time it's taking place. Just like you could be in the scenario I was in, where I was 2 inches away from being homeless, and there was a point where it's like I had to do things like recycle to get money. And what would you do? If you had no other option at that particular time, the position that anyone can end up in, and I was in it, would you get that bike or whatever from that dumpster or whatever, just so you can throw it into your work van, so you can make the money you need to do, that you need to make, so you can keep going? Can you notice that advantage, or would you ignore it because of your pride, and suffer instead? You know what I mean? Instead of just getting it done. So your perspective could be your own worst enemy unless you change it and just see that you can get in your own way sometimes too. And it'll happen more often than not. You know what I mean? We slip right back into things every once in a while from habit, from our programming for the most. So, but it's always healthy to see the good in whatever scenario, or the advantage or the possibilities from the scenario that you're put in, so that you will always find a way to adapt and then find a new direction to travel in, and a new source to pull your energy from, a new source of inspiration, a new source that revitalizes you so that you can keep on going. And so, yeah, no matter what, even through the punches and blows, you're put in a position to learn. And also, who else know what else, the unknown takes place too. The unknown seems to take place too. Like, we're put there and we interact with it, but then there's a lot of different outcomes and reactions that take place after. So it starts to draw itself out, and from those chains of reactions, we have this unexpected result at the end with resolve. you know and so that's what I would go for with this scenario too, is that I would like to see some upstanding resolve out of everybody, instead of trying to like react emotionally again and jump on the shame wagon or whatever. Let's clarify and untangle things, but we also have to, everyone has to keep it classy, basically, but things need to be addressed, because people do deserve to stand on their own too, if they have the skill or know-how or experience or anything. I feel like you definitely deserve to give it a shot if that's your choice. If that's your choice, you deserve a fair shot. What does that take? Does that take something like, I was just thinking about it, like, does that take like starting a bank division in like Africa, but then have a American branch? Would that be accepted? Would it be welcome? Could we trade the values of materials between the root the root nation and this nation's products together, and then make a spread a spread on the stock market, and then put it up as publicly traded like the Nasdaq, Dow Jones, S&P 500? Would that be accepted, right? Or would it be turned away? And why would it be turned away is the problem. That's the problem. Why would that not be answered? Why would it not be welcomed? If we would have, like, the way that things would go in a regular flow as it is, if it benefits one way, then why not benefit the other way, right? So it all goes around in a circle, equally. So yeah, I feel like so much has been driven off of particular ethnic cultures that it has some good staying power. It has some innovation, and they all together, all of them together, brighten up the place. You know what I mean? It's not so dreary and drab around here. You know, So I don't see the harm, and I feel like it'll bring us to the overall goal as a collective, as human beings, quicker. I really do. The more people can fly, the more accomplishments we all can make, and off the good merit of the purpose, and with that brilliance and beauty and just shine. I just don't see the point in the end. In the end, it seems like a gridlock situation when there's nothing else to get and nothing else to spark that innovation. Then it will all fall apart when you destroy the morale and you create hostile environments and how I see things becoming micromanaged in people's lives. That you just destroy the spirit and destroy the soul and creativity of the human race. And there'll be nothing left. It'll be like the king of dust, you know? So that's just something I don't understand. Excuse me there. That's just something I don't understand. But anyway, just wanted to touch on that about recognizing the importance in the situations that we're placed in, and seeing the silver lining in it, the advantage in the situation that we've been placed in from time to time. All right, man. I love y'all. I'll be back again. Peace.